Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today, I bring to you a video comparing two of the most revolutionary games to ever release in augmented reality gaming history. Pokemon Go and Monster Hunter Now. First, we are going to start out with Pokemon Go, or more popularly known as Pogo for short. Pokemon Go released in July 6, 2016, becoming a global viral phenomenon across the entire world.
Oh, hasn't even been out a week and already it's a viral phenomenon.
Yeah, the app has already soared to the top of the download charts and added $7 million in market value to Nintendo.
On the other hand, we have Monster Hunter Now. Monster Hunter Now released worldwide September 14, 2023. While it did not reach the same viral reception as Pokemon Go, it still stormed other countries where the Monster Hunter franchise is incredibly popular. In fact, it has its own music video with the popular Japanese rock band 1OK Rock. But before we get started, here's a list of my accolades with playing Pokemon Go. I started on July 7, 2016, and I've played hardcore till 2023. With 7 years of experience, I've had the honor of founding a raid community and meeting some of my best friends that I still hang out with today. I can give an accurate analysis and comparison to Pokemon Go and Monster Hunter Now's gameplay because of all of this time that I've spent playing Pokemon Go and all the great things and great people that I've met along the way. I actually first started out as a Pokemon Go content creator. I streamed a ton on Twitch and was one of the first streamers to stream Pokemon Go PvP on Twitch. Eventually I made my way onto YouTube. However, over time the game got really stale and boring. More on that at the end section when I'm putting things together about the potential of both Monster Hunter Now and Pokemon Go, but Pokemon Go for me personally hit a really big ceiling. Especially even though a lot of my best friends still play, I stopped playing and I just couldn't find any reason or any joy or passion to continue making content for the game anymore. Pokemon Go PvP was also getting incredibly stale and I didn't find it competitive anymore. So, in my best interest, I moved on to better endeavors and I happily found Monster Hunter Now. Now to make this video fair, I will only compare existing and relatable Monster Hunter Now content to Pokemon Go, as Pogo has way more content, being out for over 7 years, and Monster Hunter Now has only been out for over 3 months. First, we're going to start out with basic gameplay. In Pokemon Go, you catch wild Pokemon that appear on the screen by throwing a ball at them, which really encompasses the moniker of gotta catch 'em all. While in Monster Hunter Now, you defeat small and large monsters using various weapons and armor. Now for both games, depending on your location, your experience will be different. Pokemon Go can have a ton of Pokemon spawn that you can catch, while in Monster Hunter Now, small monsters will appear occasionally no matter where you are. However, large monsters vary depending on your location. And the winner for the basic gameplay category is actually Pokemon Go. This is because Pokemon Go has more activity. Again, this depends on your location, but it's far easier to gather resources. It is also user-friendly and has an easy in-game tutorial. So yes, Pokemon Go's gameplay is much easier. You throw a ball, you spiral the ball, you curve ball, you X and catch whatever, and boom, you catch the Pokemon. Simple enough. For Monster Hunter Now, small and large monsters, it's a good basic guide as well. However, the basic gameplay doesn't have a lot of things to do at its core. You defeat small, large monsters, and that's as of it is right now for Monster Hunter Now. Also, large monster spawns are dependent on location, and small monsters only appear occasionally. So, unlike Pokemon Go, where you could have a cluster spawn of like 20-30 Pokemon, Monster Hunter Now, you could probably only have like, 4 large monsters in one given area, and again, small monsters only appear occasionally. Next, we have resource gathering. For Pokemon Go, catching Pokemon repeatedly gets you candy for that specific Pokemon and Stardust that you can use for all Pokemon. You can also spin Pokestops and gyms to gather resources, but they have a 5-minute cooldown. Defeating trainers via player versus player also gets you resources. On the other hand, for Monster Hunter, you can tap small gathering nodes and large gathering nodes, which is a 3-hour cooldown on the map, a 3-hour cooldown, to gather materials. Defeating large and small monsters drops required materials depending on the armor/weapon, and Zenny can only be obtained by buying with real money, defeating large monsters, and quests. For both games though, you can complete quest lines to obtain materials. You can also buy resources using the in-game stores, with Pokemon Go taking this category for resources/resource gathering. For Pokemon Go, resource gathering is easier because of spawn density, as well as more Pokestops and gyms on the map that refresh every 5 minutes. However, you must get resources for a specific Pokemon. For Monster Hunter Now, resource gathering is much slower due to large gathering nodes refreshing every 3 hours. There are also multiple pieces of armor and weapons, but even though there are hundreds of Pokemon, Monster Hunter Now is much harder as far as resources go because there are less points to gather in comparison to Pokemon Go. Monster Hunter Now also locks resource gathering with Rarity 3 materials that can only be obtained via large gathering nodes or quests. Moving on, we have advanced gameplay. For Pokemon Go, raids allow you to battle with up to 19 other players to battle one Pokemon and catch it. Raids allow you to bring 6 Pokemon as well. Raid battles allow you to dodge the raid boss's attacks and use your Pokemon's fast attack and up to 2 charged attacks to win the battle. Training battles are also relatively easy depending on your Pokemon's level, so you could have an OP Pokemon and just beat the crap out of that poor trainer you're fighting. Next, you have Monster Hunter Now. For Monster Hunter Now, we have large monster hunts and hunt-a-thons allow you to battle with up to 4 players to hunt 5 monsters. So both activities, you could party up and have up to 4 players battle. You are allowed to bring different weapons and armor builds for every battle. So you're not stuck with one armor and weapon build, you can switch for every battle. Each monster and weapon has a complex system of mechanics and skills, which are known as equipment skills, that you must use to be successful at the hunt. For both games, all activities have a difficulty level. For example, Pokemon Go, we call them stars, but you have 5 faces, you have which are legendary eggs, and for Monster Hunter Now, we have stars. So you have 1, 2 star, 1 to 10 stars, and the more stars you have, or the more faces you have for Pokemon Go, that activity is much stronger or harder than it were if it was less. And the clear winner for advanced gameplay is Monster Hunter Now. For Pokemon Go, raids are essentially a tap fest with dodge mechanics being relatively easy to learn. I've done over 4,600 raids. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about when I say it's pretty easy. 1 fast attack, 2 charge attacks, tap, dodge. In summary, it's easy. You can also have 19 other players to make the raid much easier. 19 other players. And raid boss HP does not scale with more players. So it's set HP. So if it's a legendary Pokemon with that CP above, it's not going to be harder than it is already. In addition, Pokemon typing isn't hard to master. I did it when I was 4 years old. So I'm pretty sure someone younger can master Pokemon typing. As for Monster Hunter Now, large monsters HP scale and can have more HP depending on the number of players you have. You have 4 hunters, that's 200% more HP. Hunt-a-thons also have a fixed HP increase depending on the difficulty of the monster. So you have an 8 stars and ogre, it's going to be harder. And you can only have 3 other additional hunters with you. 3 others for 200 HP max. That sucks. In addition, here's the analysis. Monster Hunter Now advanced game mechanics are much more difficult to learn and master. You need to master monster patterns, weapons, and even elemental matchups. There's a lot of math that goes into Monster Hunter Now. It's not just a tap fest. There's a lot of things you have to consider, and there are a ton of mechanics you need to get good at and master in comparison to the tap fest and typing fest that is Pokemon Go raiding and trainer battles. And here's some additional things about Monster Hunter Now being the advanced gameplay winner. For Pokemon Go, you only get 1 free raid pass per day. Healing items to heal Pokemon, potions, and revives are also much more available. In comparison to Monster Hunter Now, in Monster Hunter Now, you can do a hunt-a-thon for free every 3 hours. So you could do more than one every day. You also get 5 free healing items, first aid meds, every day, and can stack up to 10 maximum. So, the thing about it is, healing items are much easier to get in Pokemon Go versus Monster Hunter Now. And advanced content is much more monetized in Pokemon Go versus Monster Hunter Now. And like I mentioned, although obtaining healing items is easier in Pokemon Go because you can spin gyms, you get them from raid rewards as well as quests. While in Monster Hunter Now, you only get the daily one for free. So you have to be really careful about not taking damage in Monster Hunter Now, otherwise you have to wait till your HP recovers. Versus Pokemon Go, where it's just like, okay, spin, get potion and revive, boom, you can play again right away. Moving forward, we have building Pokemon versus weapon/armor in Monster Hunter Now. For Pokemon Go, this requires candy and Stardust. Fast and charge TMs are also needed to teach Pokemon new moves and or get 2 charge moves. Berries can help with catching and resources. So for Pokemon Go, you have berries that can help you get these resources you need. For Monster Hunter Now, it requires rarity 1 through 5 materials dropped from monsters. So you need it from both small and large monsters as well. For some levels, requires rarity 3 materials you can only get from 3-hour cooldown large gathering nodes / quests. In addition, it requires Zenny. And if you're upgrading to a grade 8 and beyond, ultimately requires rarity 6 materials only dropped from 8-star and above large monsters / event quests. And this one is fairly obvious, it's not even a question, the winner is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go has free resources that help gather materials and berries. Even if it's a legendary / mythical Pokemon, you have rare candy. So there's rare candy that can be obtained in multiple ways and you can use them for any Pokemon. While it's in Monster Hunter Now, materials you need are dropped by luck / quests, roadblocks for rarity 2 through 5s and rarity 6 materials exist. You can only get refining parts once per day after finishing a quest, and you must spend 300 gems, which is microtransactions, or use special carving knives bought from packs after the first few hunter levels / quests to double up on large monster drops. And for the analysis, honestly, as a whale, just take my money, Niantic. It is far more feasible to be free to play in Pokemon Go than it is in Monster Hunter Now. And now we're going to cover the dopamine effect of both games. Well, more for Pokemon Go than for Monster Hunter Now, but shiny Pokemon versus variants. For Pokemon Go, shiny Pokemon have a chance of being obtained from wild spawns, raids, quests, and eggs. There are also hat / costume variations of Pokemon in Pokemon Go, like Pikachu and Eevee. Once a shiny is released, it is usually available in the game afterwards unless it's shiny locked or if it is a hat / costume variation. For Monster Hunter Now, variants only appear during events and are separate spawns. As of January 14, 2024, variants are not available in the game as a rare spawn. So unlike Pokemon Go, for example, Pink Rothian isn't released in the game. It's essentially shiny locked like in Pokemon Go. Variants also have their own weapons and armor that require materials dropped only from those variants. So during the event, if Black Diablos is out, the Black Diablos will drop something that only Black Diablos can drop. And the winner! I actually have Monster Hunter Now winning this shiny Pokemon versus variants. The reason being is that in Pokemon Go, only some situations are shiny Pokemon guaranteed, which are usually from quests. Otherwise, you only have to rely on luck and shiny odds, which is the chance of seeing a shiny, to get a shiny Pokemon. In addition, you must think about IVs, which are individual values if you want a certain percentage. So if you want to go extra picky, you want 100% perfect IVs, otherwise known as a hundo, or a shundo if you want 100% and a shiny Pokemon, or if you want a PvP version with PvP IVs, player versus player, etc. The reason why Monster Hunter wins is although they may only appear in events, variants are guaranteed to be encountered if you see them on a map. So if I see a Black Diablos or you see a Black Diablos, that's going to be a Black Diablos. Spawning density has increased over the past few events. So if I was making this video like before the Black Diablos Pink Rothian week, I definitely want to give in Pokemon Go the edge, but it's improved because spawning density has improved. I gotta give it to Monster Hunter Now, as variant weapons and armor have great utility when being used. For the analysis, shiny Pokemon don't have any other use other than for trading or bragging rights. So shiny Pokemon, it's literally just, hi, let me slap a color on this Pokemon, there you go. Other than that, it's the same thing as a regular one. Variant weapons and armor, though, from Monster Hunter Now do have use, so depending on the equipment skills / attributes of that variant, it has use. For example, the Black Diablos bow is the best DPS weapon in the game for Monster Hunter Now as of right now. Next up, I got Buddy Pokemon and Palico. So in Pokemon Go, if you have a Buddy Pokemon, you can feed it berries, you can find candy, it goes up a level if it's a best buddy, and friends can see what Pokemon you have as a buddy. So there's a lot of things you could do with the buddy system in Pokemon Go. While on Monster Hunter Now, your Palico can only gather small gathering points around you, and there's no customization or aid in battle. For the analysis though, I won't compare as the Palico system will likely improve in the future and Pokemon Go Buddy has been a feature for a long time. So there's a lot of things Palicos can do in Monster Hunter World, so I'm expecting it to improve in the future. But it's not fair for me to do an analysis because again, Pokemon Go has had the buddy system forever. I still remember it coming out, and as you see in this example, I've had buddies for like 86 days, etc. So yes. Not going to compare it, but yes, it's likely to improve in the future for Monster Hunter now as far as Palicos go. Next up, we have the leveling system. In Pokemon Go, the max trainer level is 50. Used to be level 40. Gaining levels up to level 40 allows you to power Pokemon, and at level 40, you can power Pokemon to level 50 with XL Candy. Certain features are also available early to trainers level 40. For example, the recent routes update was available early to trainers that are level 40. And level 40 takes 20 million XP and can be attained in a short time with XP boost events. Short time in quotations. Level 50 requires 176 million XP total and a questline completion. In comparison to that, Monster Hunter now, levels, max hunter ranks, they're not really that useful. Except to certain points. The max hunter level, as of right now, Monster Hunter Now, as of January 14, 2024, is 200. Hunter rank 11 unlocks large monster quests and daily quests, while Hunter rank 15 unlocks weapon types. And additional levels give reward at certain points. It's nothing major, but it's better than getting nothing for getting 10 additional levels. And of course, for the analysis, not going to make a comparison. Both games have different systems, but it's pretty clear to say that it's harder to get max level in Pokemon Go versus Monster Hunter Now. Next up, we have gifts. For Pokemon Go, you can send gifts to players on your friends list, and you get gifts from Pokestops and gyms. The cool thing about this is that you can save postcards from those sent gifts, and those gifts give free resources. On the other hand, for Monster Hunter Now, you must buy gifts with real-life currency in order to send. So you have to spend money if you want to send gifts to your friends. Hopefully, Monster Hunter Now's system improves in the future because the monetization is just disgusting. In addition, here are different features of both games. So both games have different features. I'm going to cover them here. Pokemon Go, you have character clothing customization, gym battles, trading, Go Battle League, player versus player battles, Team Rocket Stop, Slash Balloons, routes, etc. While in Monster Hunter Now, you can message friends in-game, you also have the Monster Guide, and you can edit character appearance. Now the difference between this is that in Pokemon Go, you can spend coins to buy clothing, but in Monster Hunter Now, you can only edit your appearance, you can't actually change your clothing. So again, differences between both games, but again, Pokemon Go has been out for 7+ years, and Monster Hunter Now has only been out for 3+ months. But as we get close to closing this video, there's something I absolutely must bring up: the speed cap. In Pokemon Go, the speed cap quickly lifts after making a stop. In fact, you can make multiple interactions on Pokemon Go while being speed capped. While in Monster Hunter Now, it takes 10+ seconds or longer to lift the speed cap. Here I am driving. I'm going to accelerate so that I get speed capped. And it takes 10+ seconds after I slow down before the speed cap actually lifts, and I'm actually able to click on this Huntathon right over here. Niantic, you do listen to our feedback, please lift this. This doesn't change anything. Why is it in one game where a lot more people play, you don't have it capped that hard, but in this game you have it capped that hard? Like, come on, it doesn't make it's super annoying, and it just kills our efficiency, and it's not needed. Please change it. The speed cap needs to go. So what game is the most player-friendly and easier to play? It's Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go's simplicity and family-friendly nature contributed to its viral explosion, along with its extensive community throughout the world. Pokemon is incredibly popular, and that made it become this viral sensation back in 2016. In terms of player versus player or PvP, players have become legends, which is the highest GBL rank in a short amount of time. GBL stands for Go Battle League, although the high barrier to entry may forever be a problem in competitive Pokemon Go. Also, it's just not that popular. It's never taken off or accepted by a majority of the Pokemon Go player community. Overall, gameplay-wise, Monster Hunter Now is far more difficult and requires far more skill to play in the player versus everyone domain. And what game has the most potential in the future? The winner is Monster Hunter Now. The thing is, a lot of features from Monster Hunter games have not been added to Monster Hunter Now. Monster Hunter Now goes off of Monster Hunter World that has tools, traps and bombs, crafting, food, elder dragons, etc. There's so much more content that could go into Monster Hunter Now, and if Niantic/Capcom chooses so, you can go ahead and even expand to the other universes of Monster Hunter Now. You don't have to just go off of Monster Hunter World, you can even go off Monster Hunter Wilds, which is releasing in 2025. So there's so much potential when it comes to Monster Hunter Now, especially with just 3 months being released. The thing about Pokemon Go has gotten stale with little improvements over the years and will struggle once all Pokemon are released in the game. I know Pokemon Go enthusiasts are going to be pissed that I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it because I never filter out my content, etc. I say what I want, and Pokemon Go is boring. It's stale, it has recycled the same thing over and over, and the only additional content you get is either really crappy revisions like routes, or you just release new Pokemon. Once all Pokemon in Pokemon Go have been released, the game will struggle, and unless you make a Pokemon Go 2, Pokemon Go isn't going to be a forever game. Pokemon PvP is also failing and slowing down in far viewership, and has been the same thing for years. There has been no adjustments to player versus player mechanics, so there's no avenue where Pokemon Go can just explode or adapt. It's too late. Slowly you're losing your player base like me and some of my friends. Regardless of whatever game you play and enjoy, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. It took a while, so please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.